What's good, superstars? Back with another VV video. You got Superstar Joe. You got Superstar Rob in the building. How's it going, Rob?
Pretty good. You
got my punches in early. Been off for a couple days, but guys, back here again. And if you're new here, do not forget, become a superstar. Smash the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell notification so you know when we post some great content for your faces. This time it's about VV. If you're a VV fan, you're gonna love this video. You can also become a superstar VIP, $2.99 a month. Hit the join button under the video. Get one of these stars next to your name. Just holding on to that membership levels you up through the stars. You get more entries into the giveaways every single month. Follow us on X, follow us on Instagram. Join the Discord. Discord is where it is at. That is where all the communities are coming together to talk about their experiences in the Web3 digital collecting space. People are learning about all different kinds of projects, meeting all kinds of people on the Discord. Highly recommend you join the Discord.
The Discord is a must join. You guys want to join the Discord because this is where we have all of our affiliate links where you can go in and let us know if you use them, and then we'll give you stars at the end of the month. That's part of our Superstar Utility Program to win some pretty cool gifts. Now, next slide, because Rich is running a security challenge. He didn't. Everyone called today in the Discord. Guys, join the security challenge. It just makes sense to do so. You're protecting yourself, you're learning something new, and you're getting a chance to win. So just join it. This is week 4, and guys, just go to the Discord because you're gonna have to go there anyways. So if you want more information, go to Discord and talk to @HolyForJolie. He can help you out. We have the Web3 security chat there, and that's it. Yeah.
Speaking of the web, it's Rich is doing a good service to everybody else as well, because he's gifting things from different projects. I mean, you might not be in all the projects of the things that he's gifting away, and then if you ever wanted to try them out, if you do win this challenge, which there's high like chance that you'll have a chance to win something because of the number of entries, then you might be testing out a project for free. So, I mean, depending on what happens, but again, Rich has just been incredible. Like you can see some of the things, there's some quid stuff even in here. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy what's happening. Physicals from the community, utility from other channels like the Real Uncommon podcast. So really appreciate everything you're doing, Rich. And guys, it's just like Rob said, it's a win-win. You're never going to lose when you're trying to protect yourself and learning along the way. So a lot of fun there. Rob, there's some pretty big news out there on Twitterverse. We saw one of the fellow superstars, Mitchell Locklear, post something up there. So why don't you pull that up, go through it, and then we'll talk about it.
All right. So this all started because Wes came out of nowhere, and he got some traction on this post. And he said, AF15 Uncommon is now 80 gems, LMAO in all capital letters, because he is laughing, I would assume, at the state of the VV market. But, I mean, we know that as time goes on, liquidity dries out, listings are less, demand is less. Obviously, the market's going to adapt and adjust. So Mitchell Locklear, shout out superstar Mitchell Locklear, comes out of nowhere with this and just says, wow, looks like a sinking ship. For real, haven't been in the app a lot. And then he asked all of us. Now, My Collectibles actually responded to this, and he said, wow, only 26 out of 2250 minted. That's like 0.01% currently for sale, right? With the rest in holders' vaults. Time to panic. And then Mitchell Locklear said, nice spin on it, but okay. And then El Migra says he left out the part where users bought at ridiculous highs. Like any smart trader, you don't list at a loss. You wait until the price influx, then list accordingly. Today's 26. Listed or whatever. If prices ever manage to climb again, so will listed amount on basic trading. So I think this is very obvious that right now there's not a lot of demand. That's why there's constant undercutting. No one's buying it, and that is a representation of what will happen to the price. If there's no demand buying it, you're going to have sellers who want to sell for various reasons. They want to get gems back. But if there's no buyers, they're going to keep undercutting until someone does buy it. And naturally, we saw this every time you have any kind of flows in a market. If prices do rise, naturally, the number of listed items will also rise because people say, oh, it's going up. Maybe some people bought it at 80. They're going to start flipping for a profit. Others might say, okay, price is up. Now it's time to get out. So you're going to have way more listings if prices go up. It's an illusion to believe that since there's only 26 out of 2250 listed, it's an illusion to believe that means there's just a bunch of collectors holding. That is not the right way to look at this, because that would assume that all these people who bought are collectors. But we all know that many people who bought are investors. They're here for a flip. They're here for growth. So my opinion, 26 being listed does not necessarily mean that 99% of people are collectors that are holding this and will never sell it. I just think it means that they're not selling it because they're going to sell at a massive loss, and they would rather just wait to sell later on. And if the prices do ever go up, and if they don't, well, then they're going to hold it in hopes that one day the prices will go up.
I think it's something to be said that Veve is not dead. I mean, they continue to sell drops. They continue to be successful when it comes to new things in the primary market coming, and that's probably what they want. They probably want their primary market to be the primary sales place, secondary to be something that whatever happens kind of deal. The one big thing that also is impacting number of listings is that 30-day delist. Automatically, if you list something and it doesn't sell in 30 days, it gets delisted. Never really understood or got that one. I mean, like I would like my stuff to stay up longer, because you never know when the right buyer is going to come along to pick up your mint number. They could be there the day it gets delisted and you miss them, and then you put it up the next day, and that's happening. So I think that has a lot to do with it. I think there's been a lot of impatient people who have walked away from even testing out the market. One of them you can see in the comment right here from Mitchell. He says, haven't been in the app a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of people with that same feeling where they haven't been in the app a lot. So yeah, they might have things in their vault that have been delisted that they haven't gone to put back up because things aren't selling. There's been, if you've been in the market, unless you're severely undercutting yourself, things are not selling. I mean, maybe very, very specific mints will sell, and we'll see some posts here and there where this sold for 1,000 gems, this sold for 1,500 gems. But if you try to sell something that's like a 3-digit mint now versus when you tried to sell a 3-digit mint like a year ago, it's a lot different. It's a way different game. And like even comics, the influx of comics that we have seen on this app, obviously Amazing Fantasy is stands alone. It separates itself. People are always going to be looking at Amazing Fantasy. But if you try to sell any other comic, like a 15, I mean, if you pull up the app right now and you go look at any random rare comic from like 2022, there's going to be like 10 listings, 4 listings, 5 listings, because people aren't looking at them. There's too many things to search around for the user base size that we have now. So like as we increase number of drops and maintain the number of users, it's going to be harder to navigate and find things and look for things, and things are going to stand out less. Like that's the whole thing. Like people say, oh, there's pump and dumps on Veve, all these things that are happening, is because people focus on an area or focus on an IP. A movie comes out, everyone goes to look at that Deadpool collectible, whatever, right? Everybody forgets about the Disney stuff. D23 comes around, everyone's looking at Disney stuff. They forget about Batman, right? So now that's how it is. It's in cycles. So you got to remember that as well. But I'm telling you right now, go pull up a comic that isn't a golden age and look at the random rarity, like a rare or an uncommon. You're going to see under 20 listings on all these comics because people are not looking at them and they're not selling, and then they're getting delisted. It's just what is happening here. And it doesn't mean that Veve's dead, because Veve's making sales all the time on primary market, but the secondary market, I mean, anybody trying to sell right now, you guys are feeling exactly what we're talking about.
We have to think about it, right? Like what's driving people to buy and what's driving people to sell. And at this point, the only thing that could possibly make them do that would be, I think, AR projection. But let's be real here. How many people are actually using the app for AR projection alone? It's unlikely someone will be buying a collectible just for AR projection. They're typically buying them because they want to flip or they want to invest. Not everybody, and I understand that some people watching this may be like, no, I'm an actual collector. But I think the majority are in the boat that they want to buy to invest. And that's just a guess. I don't have any real data on the number of that. But from our interaction and what we've observed in the community on Twitter, on Discord, people care a lot about prices. They care a lot about how much they spend on these things so that they can sell them later on. They talk about the value of how these things are FAs. They talk about the value that people in the future will want these things as collector items because they're historic. So I think people greatly care about these things. If there's going to be more liquidity in the market, you got to give people a reason to buy these things. Not that many people are buying AF15 to read it. Even though you can read it in the app, I don't believe people are really buying this just to read it. They're buying it for investment reasons. So, I agree with you, Joe. If Veve is selling, they're not really in the business of trying to get the secondary sales right now to go to uptick. They're focused on their primary sales right now. If the Veveverse, for example, does have some kind of utility, like gamification utility, that could then encourage people to buy certain sets, let's say, so they can get access to certain things. Now you're starting to talk about some utility that may incentivize the buying and selling of a collectible. So I don't think Veve's, I'm not saying they're not going to have it in today's market, though they don't have it. And that's why you're seeing a dried up of liquidity of these collectibles. If in the future they could find ways to bring in some in-house utility beyond just MCP, because you can't do much with the MCP for now, right? We've had a couple drops where only the uber whales were able to take care of that. Any average MCP user cannot really take advantage of anything that they've given so far. So until there's real meaningful utility for these collectibles in some capacity, there's really no reason to trade these except for flipping opportunities and a cash out to get gems or buy other ones. And that's the way I see it.
Yeah, no, I mean, exactly. There's no other reason. I mean, you have to incentivize people to want to hold these things or buy these things to create that value. If people aren't listening to them, it's because they can't sell them. Here's some examples from comics. You see the listings here. 72 for, this is the first appearance of Punisher. 72 listings among all 5 variants. If I click into that, 27 of the common. This is a premium comic in the comic world. Like, people love the Punisher. They love the first appearance of Punisher. It's going for 9 gems. It's going for 9 gems. There's only 27 listed. If there was only 27 listed, it'd be pretty scarce, I would think. You would think that they'd be higher listed, and you would think that a lot of people would be going after this. This should really increase the value. Just to give it a comparable, here's the physical version. I don't know if you can see that, but this is a 9.6. I'm not logged in, but 77.50 for the physical. I mean, that's showing you that this actually has some value. This comic, it's not the most valuable comic, but $7,000 for a comic is pretty valuable in my opinion when it comes to probably what the original price was, right? So when you look at it like that, and then you look at these numbers of listings, like you got 9 of the ultra rare listed, 9 of the secret rare listed. I mean, it's nothing really crazy. It's just that there's no demand for it. There's no reason for people to come out and want to buy it. And then the automatic delistings, like it just like some of them, look at them, like nine uncommons of Spider-Woman 37, and it's $2.95. If there was 9 listed, you would think that they would be hard to come by. It's not that they're hard to come by. It's just that people are like, I can't sell this. Why am I going to list it? 30 days comes by, it's gone. I'm not going to list it again, because what am I going to do? Undercut myself by 30 cents? And just keep going, because there's ones that are like $1. You can see them, like dollar comics are here. I was just looking here. Fantastic Four annual #1, $1. The next one, $1, like $1.
The day has finally come.
These are here. You can't list less than $1. So if people aren't buying it at $1, are they going to buy it at all? Daredevil, remember this one with Daredevil in jail there? I mean, the Elektra one. You got the Peach Momoko, $8. Yeah, $8 for the ultra. Like, this is one that was very sought after on the Veve app. There's been an influx of comics, an influx of collectibles, and there hasn't been the user growth. So there's just too many things for people to choose from. Not everything is being purchased, because not everybody can put in thousands and thousands of gems and thousands of dollars. So until we have an increase in users, I think this is going to be the norm. We're going to see some things might not even be listed at one point, just because people aren't buying it. So it's like, why am I going to list it? Nobody's even looking for Spider-Man 37 or whatever comic it is, right? So I feel like this is the new norm, and we just gotta be okay with it. You want to let people know. It's going to be, you're going to have to take out an ad to let people know that you're selling something, because nobody's going to be looking for that comic unless you tell them.
It's actually not impossible, considering we continue on this trend, that there will just be straight up comics with no listings at all. Yeah. Just because they get delisted, and then there's just not enough demand on the app that people will even bother listing it. They'll just say whatever, like they will literally treat it as if their $1 comic is actually $0. So there's no point in listing it, because in their mind, it's basically worthless, because they're not going to sell it for $1. Maybe they spent $20. Depends on the drop, right? Speaking of that, by the way, I will say one thing: the uncommon Amazing Fantasy number 15. Many people might have still bought that at 20. A lot of people got that one on the drop. So it's not crazy to think that there could be more sliding in the price, because you still have a lot of profit between 20 and 80. People might say, okay, I'll just drop it for 40. At least I get my gems back after $20. I can go buy myself a Starbucks coffee, right? So a little bit, maybe a few of them, but you get my point. So it's not crazy to think that if I haven't seen it yet, but there could be a comic with 0 listings.
There and when that is already, it probably exists.
Can you just let us know below if it exists?
At least a variant of one of them.
I'd love to know if there's a comic that right now has 0 listings, because then we want to make a video on it. So just put it Put it in the comments below if you found one.
Does that mean it's the most sought after comic ever, or does it mean that nobody wants it? Like that's the way you gotta look at it. You can look at it both ways, right?
Yeah, and I think it goes back. That does not mean VV is dead. It just means that there's not a lot of demand and supply within the secondary market. They continue to put out drops, and they seem to be selling pretty well. So I don't think VV is too concerned. They do get royalty, so there is incentive, which may come eventually with utility, let's say. But in the meantime, if they're selling their primary drops, I think VV, they're good. They prefer it because they only get 1% of the sale in the secondary market. In the primary market, 100% of that goes to them. And obviously, some then goes to licensors, but I don't know their deal. Actually, for all we know, nothing goes to licensors. They get 100%, and it's just paying the licensing deal. Like, we don't know their structure, but I'm sure they would much rather sell primary than secondary.
Yeah, it's definitely the priority. But yeah, no, I mean, I always thought of that. Like secondary market, they have these fees. I mean, it might make sense to have some kind of a gamification to it and making it something that people want to play around in and be around in. So maybe we'll see transfers soon, and they could put the fees on there somehow, and that might be something where people peer to peer without having to load up money. And I don't know, we'll figure it out, but we'll see what happens. But I think this is exactly it. VV's not dead. Primary sales are doing well. Secondary sales, there's so much stuff, nobody knows what to pick from. Stuff gets delisted. Get rid of that delisting thing. I bet you those numbers go way up.
Yeah, and I think Mitchell was not when Mitchell said sinking ship. I really think he meant it from the perspective of just like the community and like the user base. Yeah. I mean, obviously, as time goes on, it could translate to primary sales, and then it would relate to VV itself. But I think from what we're seeing and observing right now, they are making sales in the primary sales. So shout out Superstar Mitch for coming up with this video idea today. And guys, let me know in the comments below what you guys think. If you haven't already, don't forget, become a superstar, smash the subscribe button, join the Superstar fam, hit the bell if you're trying to see every single video every single day. As a Superstar VIPs, 200 a month, club massage, especially you guys. Thank you so much. Take care. See you next one. Bye bye.
Have you. Bye.